History and part of the club.
Yeah, totally. I mean, you're right, and obviously. Consider the inconsistency in team selection still.
Has David Moyes been handed a transfer boost for this January? Get your comments in. Welcome back to the West Ham Network. My name is Anton. Of course, if you're new around here, then you've never met me before. But if you are new around here and you're not subscribing to the channel, please go ahead and click that subscribe button. I don't know where it is. I think it's there on, if you're looking at a phone, if you're on a computer, I think it's there. I'm not too sure, but please just click that button and support the channel as much as you can. Of course, hit the thumbs up if you're enjoying the content. If you're not enjoying the content, hit the thumbs down and leave a comment, and we will engage with the comments as much as we possibly can. But welcome back to the West Ham Network. I hope you enjoyed Russ's kind of rundown of what was going on in the Europa League with regards to the fans attending games. It was a good rundown, so if you haven't watched it, go back and check out all the kind of regulations from what we understand if you're thinking of going and traveling away in Europe. I was looking into it. It was an option. The only real game going away for the group stage that could have made would have been the Zagreb game next week, but it was going to be it would be a kind of tough one, to be honest, for me to get to because of the restrictions, and I couldn't really afford to take all the time off that I would probably need to do. So anyway, like I said, if you are interested, go back and check that out. But before we move on, shall we go and see who is in the chat, of course, and we'll get cracking with the video itself. Father Snowman, good to see you. Thank you very much for joining us. Neil, thank you again. Bernie, good evening. Pete, good to see you. Gaza, hi Pete, how are you? Good to see you all talking to each other. Thunder and Joy, welcome. Thank you very much. Hi West Ham Network, how are we? We are good, apart from I've done my back in, which isn't great. I don't know actually though if it's a little bit of sciatica. However, I've got to be doing loads of stretches and stuff like that, and it's really painful. Anyway, I won't bore you with all that sort of stuff. Long Dark Tunnel, oi oi, good to see you, mate. Robert Singleton, evening chat. Hope you are well. So many comments, and I love to see the comments. It's nice. I'm just trying to get through ones of everyone who's in the chat. Kimball, good to see you. That's a bit rough for some of the guys' families to consider their issues. I don't know what that one is. Sorry, mate. Dan72, hashtag massive, hashtag West Ham Network. Get on it. Listen, for anyone that is watching that is due a prize that they've won, the only reason I've not sent them personally is because my back hasn't been that great. However, I do plan over the next couple of days to get them packaged up and get them sent out. So they are coming. And Clive, if you're watching, don't worry, mate, I have not forgotten you at all. Alfie, good evening. Good to see you. Oi, oi, Dan, all talking to each other. I'm well, thank you. Good to see you, Billy Bob. Thank you very much. So many comments. I'll tell you what we'll do, though. We'll get started with the video itself and give you a rundown of what we're going to discuss today. So as I've said in the title, David Moyes has been handed a transfer boost ahead of the January transfer window. Back in July, though, it was revealed that West Ham had managed to steal Rob Newman from the defending champions Manchester City. So let me get you a little cheeky image up there. He's going to be our new head of recruitment at the London Stadium. However, the former Norwich City defender who'd been the head of international scouting and recruitment at the Etihad had to work a notice period before being allowed to leave. Now, we're led to believe he was on gardening leave. West Ham had hoped to have him in place this summer window, but those plans were quickly shelved, with the majority shareholder David Sullivan, as we know, leading negotiations as normal for what should be, hopefully, the final time. And it's now been confirmed exactly when Newman will be starting his role at West Ham. So according to reports, the 57-year-old will take charge on September the 22nd to become the first person in this role since Husilos under Pellegrini in 2019. So this development is hugely encouraging, even if it wasn't completed in time to make an impact for the summer just past. Or we're still in the summer, but for the summer transfer window. Though he'll be able to make his presence known in time for when the transfer window reopens later in the year, we all know that we've relied heavily on Sullivan's favoured agents such as Will Salthouse, who represents no fewer than 5 first-team footballers at West Ham, ahead of genuine talent spotters. But during the off-season, Moyes reportedly made it clear during his own contract negotiations that he wanted to revamp West Ham's recruitment system. And this move represents a major change in direction for West Ham. Newman, who's also fluent, might I add, in French and Spanish, will represent a major boost to Moyes' new setup at the London Stadium. And that will undoubtedly, maybe in January, they'll undoubtedly be targeting a striker, considering we didn't secure one this time round and haven't secured one for such a long time. As we know, Antonio remains the only centre-forward at London Stadium, and that's certainly playing with fire, given the fact that we know about his injury record, of course. So that is likely to be Newman's first priority as he looks to make his mark at West Ham. West Ham finished 6th last season, as we all know. We've got a Europa League campaign, and this off-the-pitch masterstroke could be exactly what the club needs to keep us to maintain that sort of level for the foreseeable future. Newman is said to have a proven track record, and one of City key scouts across Europe. He was the main key Manchester City key scout across Europe in recent times, signing the likes of Ruben Diaz, Rodri, and João Cancelo, who had major impacts, of course, when they joined West Ham. So, does this latest update let us feel excited about what the future can hold in January? Let's take a little bit look in depth at Newman as well. So what do we know about him? The former defender made 249 appearances for Norwich City between 1991 and 98, also being used in midfield and up front at times, and was part of the squad which finished 3rd in the Premier League in 1993, and later on that year went ahead and beat Bayern Munich in the UEFA Cup, what was known back then, the UEFA Cup later that year. He wound down his league football career at Southend United and eventually became manager for 18 months in the 4th tier. A short stint in charge at Galston followed in 2004 before becoming assistant manager to Cambridge at Cambridge United, picking up the reins following relegation from the Football League in 2005, leading to the U's to the mid-table, but losing his job early in the second season. He then became former Norwich City defender Kevin Bond's assistant at Bournemouth for a couple of years, but then it came to an end, and was briefly a scout for Steve Bruce at Wigan before getting involved for Manchester City. So, what would we know about him? He was the international scout for Manchester City for the last 13 years. So he'll be coming in as a director of football at West Ham, a senior management figure. That's what they're known as. A recruitment manager, someone who's going to be the negotiator in between the manager and the ownership, something we've been crying out for such a long time. An intermediary, you could call him, and that will relieve the pressure on Moyes as such, and giving the control to Moyes to focus solely on the team. Now, that doesn't mean that Moyes will give up full delegations and full job roles, etc., to Newman, because we all know Moyes likes to do some scouting. It's Moyes' decision to bring in this role. However, Newman will want to take some form of control at the club. He want to take his and stamp his authority and show what he is capable of doing, which is scouting specific talents. But I tell you what, the biggest key factor here is bridging the gap between the manager and the ownership. And if he's taking control of deals, then hopefully what that does is that pushes Sullivan out of the situation. Now, the last time we did this, it was with Husilos and Pellegrini, and look how that turned out, and it didn't work out so well. However, they've got to put a lot of faith and trust in what Moyes is doing, building from the bottom up at the club. And that is what he seems to be doing with Newman. So I'm going to jump into the chat, see what your thoughts are. We've got some more stuff we want to talk about in relation to this, but I want to hear what your thoughts are. So please get your comments in and let us know your thoughts on the deal to bring him in. He starts in the 22nd of September, just in time, perfect timing for West Ham looking at the scouting system in the lead up to January. So let's have a look that there. Where are we? Sorry, hold on a second. So many comments. Good to see you. Yep. Anton, what have you done with the pony? As you can see, it's all hidden with the West Ham top. Richard, good to see you, mate. Hope you're well. Richard, are you going Man United? Let me know if you are, because I am. I'll be there. Good to see you as well, Robert Singleton. I think Lingard's confusion. We'll come on to Lingard in a minute, I promise you. Rice, Mushroom Man, evening all. Stuart Cade, good to see you. Billy again. Coogie Bear, hi Hammers. Lovely to see everyone in the chat. Really cool, and I'm glad you do come in and come in there. Evening all. Carrie and Stell, what's that about? I don't know what you're talking about. Howard Ailes, evening all. Come on, you irons. Oi, chaps. James, good to see you. Hi from Alberta. I love this format. What format is it you love, Graham? Please let us know. Gaza, you done your back in picking up your wages? Hands on. If only, mate. If only. I was actually training and I picked up a medicine ball and smashed the living daylights out of it and felt the twinge. And that's where it was. Hit the like, everyone, please do. I'm not going to be happy until I see that pony. We'll keep your eyes peeled and we might see it later on. Thanks, Olivia. Always forgot. He signed Mendy too. Absolutely. I mean, there's a long list of players that he was involved. So, Robert, how come City are letting him go? So his role was very, very different at Manchester City. So he's coming in as the director of football. Now, listen, I know that people will say, well, does that mean he's making a step down by coming to West Ham when Man City can pay this? But he, there's a career progression in football, and taking a director of football role is a step up from potentially the role that he took in place. And maybe he's got more of a say in the situation by coming to West Ham. Oscar, so it sounds like that if it's true, Lingard has developed a backbone a bit too late, though. So he's running his contract down. He'll be signed in January by Everton, most likely. Well, we'll talk about this in a minute, Pat. Let's see here. Neil T, yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if he stays as close to Manchester as possible. Howard, did he bring in any young talents at City we can poach? Knowing Moyes, he's probably a head scout from Epic Hash Time. Matt, you're there. I know you messaged me, mate, but I don't know how to do this when I'm live on the show. Matt is in the house. Good to see you, mate. Pete, yep. Cool. Matt, only 12 likes so far. Come on, everyone, spam that like button and shock Anton. So over 140 people watching live. Please go down there and hit that thumbs up. And well, that's if you're enjoying the show. If you're not, then don't. But anyway, Peter Jones, evening. We'll come on to Lingard in a minute. James, Anton, whatever Moyes decides on, in the Moyes I trust. Absolutely. You're bad back carrying still. Mate, what is it? What is going on? Like, why did I not get that? We'll be allowed to sign. We'll talk about that in a minute. Anton carrying stealth through the West Ham Weekly every week has killed his back. Absolutely. And WHU is Lingard being officially gagged. Current contract conditions does not allow him to speak about transfers unless a transfer request is made. Looks like he'll come to us in January. Well, listen, let's get on to a little bit of Jesse Lingard. We'll come on to Newman back in a minute, but let's talk about Jesse Lingard as such. So what the reports are suggesting is that young Jesse Lingard, the player that came to West Ham and performed fantastically well last season, has rejected a new offer of a new contract at Manchester United. Amid concerns over game time. So the England international stubbed the chance to return to West Ham over the summer despite the guarantee of chances to play, and he was determined to stay at Manchester United and prove his worth to the manager. Lingard is now into his final year of his 100k a week deal at Old Trafford and will be able to leave the club on a free transfer at the end of the season if no agreement is found. The attacking midfielder has not started a game for Man United so far this season, but scored twice and laid on an assist in England's win over Andorra. That was on Sunday, I believe. Let me just see what I've got here. There you go. So David Moyes, of course, was keen to bring him back to East London after a stellar spell on loan last season, scoring 9 goals and creating 5 assists in 16 appearances. Lingard made it clear to West Ham that his intention was to stay at Manchester United this summer, and Moyes then moved to sign attacking midfielder, as we know, Nikola Vlasic, who's taken the number 11 shirt, actually worn by Lingard on deadline day. So there's been suggestions, though, that West Ham may make a fresh approach to Manchester United in January for Lingard. And that, I suppose that may tell and depend on Vlasic's form and his role in that decision. You know, the 28-year-old, which he is currently, wants assurances over game time at his boyhood club. Concerned that a lack of opportunities and playing time will impact his place in the England squad ahead of the Qatar World Cup next year. So he does talk about, you know, a lot about playing for England. England's one of his biggest things. But one of the other things we need to consider is the fact that, you know, Lingard is a Manchester United fan, born and bred, and he talks a lot about Ronaldo coming back to the club, and he says here, we're glad to have Ronaldo, him. The presence he brings is going to be the signing of the season for us. It's important. And then in brackets we've put there, I get minutes at United. He didn't state that, but that's what he's referenced. I've got to keep working hard, do well in training and impress the manager. It's all I can do. And when I get the chance to play well. Now, listen, when it comes to Lingard, and people will go on and on and on and say, like, why are we going on about the Lingard train? Well, I'll tell you what, I'm going to go on about the Lingard train because we know for a fact that Moyes is interested in Lingard. And just because he's signed Vlasic doesn't mean he's putting Lingard to the back burner, because there is room in our team for a player like Lingard. There is. We don't have a striker, and we want attacking options. And if we're going to keep the consistent level that we're playing at, we're going to need squad rotation, and that's where players like Lingard or another player would come in and fit that nature. Now, the situation we find ourselves in is he can't sign for the club just now. Come January, he is free to talk to clubs. Now, I don't understand what the rules are in terms of can he talk to other English clubs. I've seen someone in the comments saying he can't. However, I've not known that. So could someone please clarify that for me? Can Lingard talk to other English clubs in January about an option to move to another club because he's then into the 6-month part of his deal? Now, the situation is that Manchester United don't know we've got 6 months left, and they know that West Ham are keen. Would West Ham go back in and put a lower transfer fee in for Lingard, knowing he's only got 6 months left in his contract? And would you be happy if West Ham got a bit part deal for him, or waited 6 more months to get him on free? Would it be too late to bring him in free? The situation we find ourselves in is Lingard will want to try his best to get into this squad, the England squad for Qatar in the World Cup come the end of next year. And his real chance of doing that is playing football from January onwards. He can afford to be with Manchester United right now. It's not ideal in terms of a West Ham fan if you wanted Lingard through the door, but we can afford it right now because the window opens up in, is it 3 months' time? So we hopefully have enough there, strength and depth. And I don't think he's bit off more than he can chew. I think we have to give him, we have to remember that he was never a loan with an obligation to buy or a dip. It was always a loan and a loan only to find the form. Nobody expected Lingard to hit the form that he did. No one expected Lingard to be so, unbelievable player really and transform his career back to what we knew he was capable of doing. And he did. And now he's become a little bit indispensable, I suppose you could say, to some West Ham fans and potentially wanting to bring him in. So it's going to be interesting. We'll have to wait and see. Let's jump into the comments and see what all your opinions are. Neil, good to see you. Thank you for joining us. 5:15 a.m. on a Wednesday morning. Thank you for doing it. Richard Barlow, Lingard is in the Man United Academy. So he's probably been respectful in keeping his options open. Absolutely, Richard. And the thing is, Manchester United had to accept a fee for him before West Ham could talk to him. So, we're saying that Lingard declined West Ham, but from our understanding, Manchester United didn't accept a fee from West Ham, an offer. So we'll see. Tony, I see you have covered the My Little Pony. Well, keep behaving yourself. You may get a little chance to see it. Yeah, absolutely. Full, good to see you, mate. Thank you for joining us. Richard, respectable. I mean, he's respectable by keeping quiet. Neil T, good. Everyone's saying hi to each other. Grumpy old Ben, morning from the Philippines, 3:45 a.m. Typhoon passing through, can't sleep. Wowzers. Hope you're safe, mate. Please stay safe. Is all your electricity working, etc.? We'll see. Jay Woods, can see Yarmolenko, Randolph, Reed and Lanzini sold in January. Well, interestingly enough, West Ham announced their, from what I understand, their A squad. Now, in the Europa League, you can announce a squad A for the Europa League group stages. And on match days, you can give a B list, which can add players into that come from a certain age group. So I'll give you an example. Ben Johnson wasn't, from what we understand, announced in the A list squad from the Europa League. Maybe we'll do a video on this tomorrow and explain it a little bit more. But the situation is that Ben Johnson, for example, is not in the A squad. However, on the night before match day, West Ham can give the B list players, which is a lot of the younger players in that list, and add them into the squad day of the next day. So that will allow players like Ashby potentially to make the step up, Coventry to make he's on loan, obviously, Alessi, Baptiste, and of course Ben Johnson, because he meets the criteria because of the age that he is. So I think what we're going to see in January will be, we have saw. The point I'm making to that was Reid wasn't announced in that squad in either of the squads. In the A squad. So if he's not announced in the A squad, he doesn't meet the criteria to be selected in the B team. Therefore, he's not going to feature in the Europa League group stages. And that just kind of starts putting final nails in the coffin. So I'll be intrigued to see what happens with Reid, because he's still at the club, and I don't know what's going to happen with him, because if Moyes doesn't fancy him at all and he's not going out anywhere, what are we doing? Are we just going to be paying wages for him? I love him. I want him to turn his career around, but what's going to happen there? And then, we've got the likes of Randolph and Yarmolenko as well, who will want game time. So we'll see. Daniela, good to see you. Where are we? Richard, Barlow, Benny and Lingard are going to fight it out if he comes back. I seen Zuma started for France tonight, absolutely. Grumpy, just heavy rain where I am. The eye and wind is further south. No, he can only talk to foreign clubs. So there you go, he can only talk to foreign clubs. But would that tempt West Ham? Would West Ham be tempted to put an offer in? That's where we could, come in and take a deal. And also we have to consider the fact that we've got Rob Newman in now, who is in control of the those deals, and would he be looking for better talent? You never know, so we'll see. Troz, you've not missed much, mate, don't worry. Daniela, for me, I would love Lingard, but we should not run after him. He knows what we are about. Absolutely, Daniela, I do agree with you 100%. I've been a little bit busy with work and the little ones. Porky, I'll check in after the show. Cool, man. We can still say on telly that we want him, Richard. What's that one related to? I don't know. We'll see. Offer Man United £100 in January. Absolutely, mate. Dan, oh God, I'm not nearly over the last window. I know, and we're already talking about January window. Richard Barlow, that'll be enough for him to wait for his contract to run down. Troy, did Lingard reject Man United contract or something? That's what we're led to believe. And we do know that the clubs are in communication. We do know that Lingard has a channel through to Moyes. Well, we don't know that for fact, but you kind of start to put two and two together and come up with your own answers, don't you? It was good window, Dan, a bit last minute, but still, absolutely, mate. Neil T, yeah, I'm just going to wait until the last day of the transfer window and see what happens. West Ham Irons, are you ignoring my comments? Not in a rude way. What comments, mate? I'm flicking back up here. Let me see. I actually, in January, I'm trying to see the one before that, mate. Sorry, I didn't see that one, but I didn't put it up because I didn't know what it was in relation to. And I can't see them. I can't see your comments. So sorry, mate. Sorry about that. Put up the comment and I will jump on it. Robert Singleton, Lanzini has been classified as a forward for the Europa League. Yeah, but he's been classified as a forward, but he will be playing in the specific roles that he's told to do, Tony, his daughter did not want to move to London, so it's family reasons why he did not move. Yeah, we've got to take into consideration people. A lot of people talk about players should move to clubs because of this, this, and this. And I always have this debate a lot, and I talk about it with my friends a lot as well. We underestimate, the weather in this country. So if you're talking about a player that's coming from Spain or Italy, and I wonder how many players have knocked back contracts knowing that the weather they come into is crap. And they could just stay where they are and have the best weather they possibly can. I'm not saying that's the sole reason, but it could be a reason. Troj, if West Ham don't buy a striker soon, Football Manager 22 is going to be rough. Anton is in the dark today as they've declared national emergency due to the heat. Nobody is allowed to use lights, and electricity is needed for the one air conditioner in Scotland. Well, see, I don't know. I could put the lights on. I've got it all connected to voice, but I kind of like this. I don't know. Maybe I don't. Maybe I don't like this vibe. You let me know. You're the one that's watching it. WHUFC, if Lingard's contract ends in January, then he is free to talk to any club as far as I'm concerned. I can't see him wanting to go anywhere else other than to us or stay at Manchester United. Bailey Egan, honestly, as a United fan, sorry to interrupt, but we really don't need Lingard. He isn't starting quality. Bruno Ronaldo, Sancho, Rashford, don't know why we are trying to keep him. It definitely is an odd one. It is an odd one. And it looks like he's going to be going come the next summer, but yeah, I know family comes first, and that's something that he's realised, that family does come first. Well, not realised, I think he's always known that. But what are his chances for the Qatar World Cup? That is the key element for him. So Matt is saying, should be careful with Lingard. He's clearly playing everything close to his chest, playing agents and clubs off each other, trying to get the best money for himself. That's an interesting point, Matt, because, you know, his brother making comments like he did over social media before the transfer window shut didn't help things. So you could easily put that in the equation. Daniela might get Lingard for £15 million or less. And the question I'll ask to you in the chat is, if he's got 6 months on his contract to go, would you pay £15 million for Jesse Lingard in January with 6 months to go? Full, I would be surprised Lingard wants a dabble abroad, mate. Who knows? What's your favourite Man United player? I'm a United fan, by the way. Give us Declan Rice. Leyland, the best Man United player is, don't care. Stuart K. Bailey, I hear Ronaldo will be on the bench against Newcastle. Also, don't get complaints. Game isn't on TV. Daniela Stewart, yes, we can agree to have no transfer talk in October and November. Absolutely. Oh, God, what are he's talking about here? Victor Fenn, didn't Lingard say he didn't want to come back to West Ham? Well, again, depends on the reports you're talking about. I mean, this video mainly is about our new director of football, but we have ended up talking about Lingard because of the news that he has rejected a contract at Manchester United. I like this dark. It's like Underground Anton. Yeah, behind, what is it? Underground XXX. No, I don't want to say stuff like that, do I? Matt Hughes, new West Ham fan. What are the realistic expectations for where the team will finish in the league this year? Matt, are you a new West Ham fan in general, or are you new to the channel? If you're a new West Ham fan, welcome to the world of West Ham. It's a roller coaster. I mean, as long as you don't get motion sickness, you're probably going to feel sick a lot because that's just what happens. Let's just hope that we can change it. Oh, Dan, Alexa, play Shotgun. I better turn it off though. Alexa, stop. There you go. Please tell me if that actually did what I wanted it to do. Foshi's a good point, but staying in the UK would be easier for family reasons. Anton is going for an intimate show, suggesting Lingard. GP, hi, good to see you. Lingard, Troj is waiting to see how many games he plays. Of course he will stall. Yeah, of course he will. Where are we? God, the comments. Dan, if we don't need Lingard come January, it's worth waiting for the end of his contract. Yeah, and like I said, I think it will be worthwhile to see what happens with Vlasic and how well he does. 5 million max, no 5 million, 15, snap him up. West Ham Irons, if you had the option to keep Rice or Souček, who would you have, in my opinion? Souček, because Souček is defensive and attacking, unlike Rice, but they're both good. I don't want the option to get rid of the other, one or the other. However, I am concerned come next year that Rice will be gone from the club, but that depends on how West Ham progress this season, of course, as well. Daniela Stewart, also there was a rumour from another West Ham site that it was Richard Arlo that put a stop to Lingard. Say, why should he sell to our competition? I mean, what do we say? Because what do we actually know? People reporting saying that Lingard's meeting Moyes. How do they know? They don't know. We've got people saying that Lingard signed for the club, but he didn't. So, I mean, what do we say to that? I really don't think Lingard will come back. Do you know what? If he doesn't come back, we have to move on from it. If he doesn't come back, it will be a shame. I can get over it. I'll get over bigger players leaving West Ham. Fall was saying 7 to 8 million max for Lingard in January. Vinay is saying we don't need him. I turned my phone down as I knew you couldn't help yourself. Absolutely. I can't make 2 to 3 million for Lingard in January, no more. Robert Singleton, absolutely. I'm glad they did that. How many people had to say, Alexa, stop? I love it. Love it. We paid 40 for Anderson, 15 for Jesse. Isn't bad. Nah, you make a valid point there, GP. Absolutely. New West Ham fan just getting into the Premier this year and didn't want to go for one of the big money teams. I like the passion of the Hammers Nation. Matt, where are you from? Let us know. Please come in and talk to us and let us know. Harley Yarmo sailing January to Ukraine or Russian team will free up wages for Lings. I don't think he'll go to a Russian team, but there is still a chance that one of these players could nip out the door over the next couple of days. But I I don't think we'll see it. The more paranoid amongst us do not have a mega corpus. If Rice wants to go, I would sell him one of the big European clubs. Jay Woods is saying, I'd pay £12 million max for Lingard in January. He's quality for us, to be fair. Plus, he wants to be in the World Cup squad, and he does. Anyway, let's get back onto the topic. Robert Newman comes in to West Ham as a director of football. I want to, before I go, ask you what your opinion of that is. Are you glad that Moyes has brought in a director of football to the club? Do you trust in what Moyes is doing? And if you think about the last time we had a director of football, Husilos, then it didn't go according to plan. You've just given me one there. Alexa, what's 100 in Welsh? Alexa, stop. Sorry, I hope that worked for you. What is this here? So yeah, Robert Newman is obviously in the club, and he comes with a really, really good record. So fingers crossed this will work out for West Ham. I've got faith. I've got faith in what Moyes is building at the club. He's turned my opinion around dramatically as a West Ham fan. You know, I don't believe we have to go out there and sign £40 million players, £50 million players just to bring in to appease the fans. I think what we're looking at is players that can fit the jigsaw piece, and that's exactly what we're doing at the club. So I think that Moyes will have given Newman a remit of what he wants to achieve, and Newman must be on board with that remit. So I think everyone that's come into the club from the moment that Moyes stepped through that door is following the same thing there. Phil, is director of football really necessary? Well, it depends on what you think. Are you happy that the owner, Sullivan, is doing a lot of these deals? Now, we know for a fact that he doesn't go down well with clubs. If you think about the circumstances that under William Carvalho, when West Ham were interested in the Portuguese international, and an email was sent and the way that the deal was done. So we know that people don't favour dealing with David Moyes. We hear that from people outside of the club. We hear that from other owners, other retired owners, other owners that have sold up. So I think bringing in a director of football is good for the club, because it might, you should really, in theory, push Sullivan to the back burner and bring in the specialists to do the job that they're allowed to do. We spoke about that one. Robert Singleton always knew Moyes had a plan. Absolutely. Yes, he is. I'm going to say this and leave. Why do you call Five Hammers? Oh, no, I'm not going to say that because I don't even know what you're talking about. I'd take 150 million for Rice in the summer if PSG want him. Oh, sorry, I missed the start. Can you please recap, Anton? Are you ready? I'm going to try and do this if I can. West Ham have announced that Robert Newman will start his role on September the 22nd as director of football. We're just discussing his history. He played for Norwich. He played for Bristol City. He was part of the Norwich setup when they finished third in the Premier League. He's now obviously been in the last 13 years at Manchester City, recently been on garden leave because he's officially out, not able to work for the club because he signed the contract with West Ham to come to West Ham. He starts the job on September the 22nd, just in time for the January transfer window. He will take that intermediate role between the manager and the owner of the club. So therefore, in theory, removing David Sullivan from negotiations from the transfer market. On top of that, what we heard today was Lingard has not signed a new contract with Manchester United. So there's going to be an interesting thing going on there. Will West Ham want to go back in and tempt Lingard to come back? Did Lingard genuinely not want to come to the club? There's family issues. Does his daughter not want to come down where she lives? All that sort of stuff. So I don't think there's the end of these negotiations there. So we will see. Hammer Moulder. As I said yesterday, Lingard will sign a new contract to Man United so they can maximise their profit on him. He's a man poo? Is it man poo? Through and through. Who thinks Alex Crowell has been brought in on loan with an option to buy to replace Rice as he'll move for big money next summer? I don't think anyone denies maybe some of those things, but the thing I've got a concern about, or not a concern, is the hope I've got is that West Ham can progress. So let's see. Alexa, what's Spanish for seal? That's what Flo told me. How dare you, mate? Newman needs to focus on tactical plan B. We don't have one. You're right, mate. Daniela Stewart, GP, the more I think about it, I'd rather sell Rice with a non-Premier League club like PSG or Real Madrid. Neil from Down Under. Hi, Russ. Russ is in the house. He is. If none of you have watched it already, please go back and look at Russ's My Hammers 11 with Keith Rowland. Russ has started to do a lot of his My Hammers 11s live, so you're actually getting interaction with the ex-pros as well, so it gives you something back. And I'm not going to lie to you, even me, who presents these shows, absolutely loves it. I was on a show the other day with Russ, talking to Tim Breaker. Tim Breaker, a guy I watched running up and down the wings at West Ham at Upton Park, like a genuine, like, a guy I loved. I had a poster of him in my room. You know, I'm sitting there talking to him. So I feel the exact same way when you guys see it. When I'm talking to these guys, I'm a proper fanboy. When I done Ray Stewart on the other day, I put as many of your questions up as I possibly can. Total fanboy, and I feel like that's giving something back to you guys. Hence the reason we decided to come together and give you all of this content. So go and check out Russ's video earlier yesterday with Keith Rowland, and of course go check out Russ's video earlier on today. He talks a lot about the Europa League travel and how you can and can't get into specific clubs. So let's see here. 200 mil if Chelsea or Manchester United want him. Is he the director of football, head of recruitment? Is there a difference? Oh, we'll see. I don't know. We just got to let them have it. Hi, chat. Last day of freedom before Still returns from his booze cruise. Russ, mate, what's it like in the chat? I just can't handle it sometimes. Thank you. I still want Lingard, and I'm sure that's what Moyes wants. We'll see. We will see. Howard, Lingard is seen tonight in Canary Wharf KFC before his flight to Poland. Moyes can train anyone in the supreme athlete with elite skills. Have no fear, Troz. You are right. GP, no thumbs down tonight. Anton has still lost in his hands, upsetting some mafia boss. Still's in the air, GP. Still is in the air, flying back to the British Isles. And the reason why we don't have a thumbs down is because Still hasn't clicked those thumbs down. Milesy, good to see you, mate. Are you well? Thank you for joining us. Glad to see you. Hope you are, you big units. Moyes and his super staff, absolutely. Vinay, at the very least, Lingard will be fresh if he is signed in January. He won't get much game time. Crosshammer, even in all this Lingard saga, is a long one. It is, but I don't think it's going to be the end of it. Harley, the salami leg breaker, absolutely. Howard, Keith Rowland was awesome last night. He was in the team when I started supporting the Mighty Hammers. He was also on the bench for the game I was mascot for West Ham. I was mascot back in September the 29th, 1996. I don't know if anyone ever knows that, but there is a video on here talking about that, actually. When Slaven Bilic scored his first ever Premier League goal for West Ham, Keith Rowland was on the bench for that game as well. So everyone's talking to Milesy. Good to see you. I agree, Keith Rowland was great. We'll look up... do you think Morley or Breaker era gets a bit forgotten by fans and the club? Not by me, by no means. So I grew up in the era of Trevor Morley and Tim Breaker. Now, I probably grew up more in the kind of latter end of Trevor Morley's career, but I did catch up. So it wasn't right at the end. It was kind of middle to end of his career with West Ham. But I was such a fanatic with West Ham that I used to watch the VHS tapes of the old games and the old seasons and just be jealous of anything that ever happened in the past. So I was always there. So I always felt that connection. I've met Trevor Morley several times. He was on our show the other day, but he had a bad connection, and I was gutted because I was so excited about speaking to Trevor Morley. I'm not saying I was more excited about speaking to Trevor Morley than Tim Breaker. I was, but don't tell anyone. But the thing is, it was surreal, to be honest. So please check out the channel, Harley, and anyone who is watching. We will bring you surprises left, right, and centre. We've got previews coming up with You Never Know Who will appear. We've got My Hammers 11s coming up that you never know who will appear. We've got West Ham Weeklies that's coming on with You Never Know Who will appear. So please bear with us as well, of course. Where are we? God, I can't keep up this. Russ should interview the villains too. Payet, Roberto, Pellegrini. Yeah, I mean, it's going to be tougher to interview people who are currently playing, but, you know, you'll see. Have I missed Still, Anton? Happy? You know the answer to that. I can't miss Still because Still constantly communicates with me every single day. So I don't get a chance to miss him. I can't. He's just a nuisance. He's just that, like, constant nitpicking at the side of me. And I'm like, oh, here he goes again. Oh, here he goes again. And now Russ is seeing it, and all the guys that West Ham Network are seeing. It's like, oh, there he goes again, and eventually, you know, he's so annoying that you just go, whatever, do what you want, because he does do what you want anyway, doesn't he? So Matt Flat, only 72 likes, but 170 watching. Remember to hit the like button, guys. It helps with the youths or YouTube algorithms. Yes, like the likes button, hit the like button, please. Actually, do you know what? Hit that like button right now. If you are watching, hit that like button. Do you still fit in your mascot kit? I think, all right, okay. I was 12, but I was the same-ish height as Julian Dix, who was the captain for West Ham that day. Same-ish height, so I was 12. I'm quite a tall lad. Well, not massive. I mean, I'm 6'4". I know a lot more taller people than me. Still going on about saying I'm mountain and stuff like that, but I've gone to games and I've seen a lot more taller people than me, but it's just because Still was really, really small. So, yeah, it helps massively. There you go. He's saying it again. Yes, both deluding the fans are arrogant to think that they're out of order, put our price tag on Rice. Defo, good show last night. Absolutely, it was. Billy Bob, Clyde Best was playing when I started supporting West Ham, and it's one of my dad's favourite ever players. I've met him once outside the bookshop just around the corner from Upton Park. Got inside a book, spoke to him. Actually FaceTimed my dad, and my dad spoke to one of his heroes that he's never had a chance to speak to. So it was absolutely brilliant. Mervyn Day was in goal when I first went to a game. I love it. My first ever West Ham game live was Tony Cottie's second debut against Liverpool away from home when he got sent off. So there's one for you. That was my first ever West Ham live game. First West Ham game, FA Cup 1987, I think, against Luton Town at Upton Park. Ian Dowie's up front for Luton. There you go. God, we're reminiscing right now. Anton, my team is the Bonds T Brooklyn time. We'll love it. Absolutely. WHU. The Tim Breaker era was the last time I was a season ticket holder at Bowling Ground. Absolutely. Pyatt isn't a villain. He's just a very naughty boy. Absolutely, mate. Absolutely. Like an old married couple, you two, honestly, you don't understand. You do not understand. Can't we set Still up for a fall when he gets back? We don't need to. He just naturally does it himself. So we just let him play it out. You know, he'll probably come on, he'll do his first show, he'll be on mute. What else do we expect? GP, but that way they wanted to win the league from them. I don't know what I was talking about. Sorry, GP. Full Anton and his legendary mascot kit. The mascot kit was the centenary year kit, actually, and I don't know if Anton can never miss Still. Still FaceTimes him every day. Basically, he likes talking Anton on taking on holiday. Yeah, I do. I think Still's missus hates Anton. Well, that's not my fault that Lenny hates me, but she does because he's constantly got me there. You know, they're eating dinner, and then the next minute I'm talking to Still, and I'm like, Still, I take it you've just nipped away for a walk. He's like, no, we're out eating dinner. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, what are you actually doing? And then he's like, he phones me again, he FaceTimes me, we're on a video call, and I'm like, oh, chat. What are you up to? He's like, oh, we're out for drinks with Lenny. And I'm like, what are you doing? Like, yeah, he needs to just move on from it. And Anton and the legendary thighs, absolutely. Stato, I bet Lenny does. Spanneret, Phil Parks is in goal for my first game. You get off lightly. I admin 3 other outlets with him. Yeah, honestly, Dan, you know, Dan knows. My first ever game, West Ham 1973, West Ham Man City at home. Hi everyone, Lee. Hope you all had a great day. Lee, what are we, mate? What are we? Happy. I bet Anton is like the third wheel in the relationship. They tag along that Still can't bear to part with. Honestly, I can't explain it enough to you. I mean, I go out for a meal with my family. If Still's messaging, I mute him. I'm like, I'm not talking to you. GP, yes, if she sell anyone to Man United. Fo is saying, Anton, will Still Aku be calm now that the transfer window is closed, or will PI trigger him again? God knows, mate. God knows what's triggered. Anything triggers him, to be honest. 1990, I went with my cousin to see the Hammers play Oxford away, and a few weeks later I went to the bowling under the lights to Sheffield Wednesday. The atmosphere was electric. I was hooked, absolutely. Clyde Best now, there's a bit of history. You can say that again. Anyway, that brings an end to my show for the day, the West Ham Daily. Thank you for watching. If you are new around here, please go and click that subscribe button. It's just there, I think, depends on where you are watching it. So go and click that subscribe button just now. If you are also watching, please hit the thumbs up. Hold on a minute, I have to put this up. We are massive, always and forever, over land and sea. You have hit the nail on the head. But listen, we're on the mega push for 10,000 subscribers, and I really do appreciate all the support that you guys are giving us. So please continue to do it. There's a lot of people that watch that don't subscribe, so we're asking you to go for it and subscribe to the channel. That's really cool. Now listen, the other thing is as well is we are and do have a membership program. Now listen, don't feel the obligation that you need to do it, but I've put the link in the chat right now. That's for our tiered process of what's available on our tiered process if you become a member. Now click it. That would take you to, it will just take you to the tier options and it will show you what's available. There are 4 tiers, so you can have a look at that. No pressure, no obligation at all. But if you want to help the channel out, you can by doing that, of course, as well. But before I go, I did forget something and I feel really bad and I shouldn't have done it. So, of course, this show is sponsored by our channel sponsors, Football Prizes. And I can't find the picture. No! Where is it? Oh, no. Hold on a minute. It's coming. It's coming. No, it's not. Is it? Where is it? Oh, I thought I had it. I'm sorry, guys. I tell you what, I'll make sure we push it. But go, do you know what I can do? Actually, stay with me. Bear with me. Sorry, this is the disaster of the end of the show. It usually still does, but I am now doing it. Show the Pat the pony, Anton. Please, I know we're all right. Where is it? He wants the pony. Where? Hold on a minute. The pony, Pat. I can't, mate. I can't. I'm going to build up your. Honestly, I've got some nice surprises coming up for you guys really, really soon. I'm losing viewers as we go because I'm talking absolute nonsense. Right, hold on a minute. Right, I can't get the image. However, I'm going to bring it up on the screen and I'm going to put it right in here for what the prize can be. Let me just bring this up. 2 seconds. Here we go. Oh no, what we're doing? Share screen, and then I'll put this up here. So the next prize, thanks to Football Prizes, who are our channel sponsors, is for a Vladimir Sufal signed and framed West Ham shirt. Tickets are £5.95. The Czech International played the full 90 minutes in all but one game last season for West Ham, and we cemented our place in European positions. A maximum 65 tickets are available in this competition. And a guaranteed live draw is on Friday the 10th of September, so make sure you purchase your tickets. There is 16 tickets being sold from a possible 65, so if you want a chance to go and win it, click the link I've put in the chat and you will get a good chance of doing it. So hopefully that has made sense. And yeah, listen to Matt because he enters them and wins them all the time. Anyway, I'm boring you now. Subscribe, like, comment, join the membership if you want. Don't if you don't. If you don't want to like it, thumbs down. That's how it goes. My name's Anton, and we'll see you tomorrow. Come on, you irons. Stay safe.